100 episodes and almost 20 million views later, what are some of the key things that you think that we have learned in navigating this past year?
Well, I'll just say the only thing that popped into my head.
Ready?
I'm ready. All right. Hang on.
All right.
Now
Welcome.
I'm ready.
Welcome to the Daily Carry Podcast, episode number 1. So, episode 16, first guests, and we'd like to...
Sorry, I hate to cut you off.
Go ahead, go.
We already had a guest. He was epic.
That's true. We have had our
You guys
first
are going to
guest.
have to rise.
We do
to
have
an
a pretty
occasion.
high bar set by the one and only Zion Kilo Heyman, the American Bulldog.
And not be afraid of really what's around you.
And today we have a guest. Our guest is none other than Brett Titus, founder and CEO of LifeSpot. Welcome back to the Daily Carry Podcast. Today, it's still a pretty heavy day. Yesterday, one of the heaviest days that I remember probably in my lifetime. For those listening, today is Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday, September 10th. And today is the 11th. First and foremost, I think we both share the sentiment of wanting to open up, saying that you and I have both been and will continue to be praying for the Kirk family and the shooting victims and families of the Evergreen High School shooting yesterday.
Yes, sir.
On set with us right now is Darren Weekly, the Douglas County Sheriff. Darren, welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Here we go.
Hit it.
For those listening, I'm Jared Heyman, and I would not be sitting here right now if it was not for God's hand on my life. That is the absolute truth, and I'm going to tell you the entire story as best as I can recall it and tell you right now. And by the end of it, you tell me whether or not you think that the statement I just made is accurate or not. Micah Richardson, why are you here?
Why am I here? Well, the punchline is before the joke. So I'm here.
Eli Crane, congressman in the state of Arizona, Navy SEAL, a man of faith, and we're excited to have this conversation with you today. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, man. It's an honor to be here.
This guest is none other than my dad, Pastor Donald Heyman II. Anyway, should we get started?
Yeah.
I think we already kind of started without starting.
We definitely started without starting.
We got some killer B-roll.
Tatiana Gaidar. Did I say your last name right?
No, that's
How
right.
do you say it?
Gaidar.
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 Our guest is none other than Victor Marks. We are excited to have you here on the show with us today. Excited to have a conversation with you. Thank you for your time and thank you for being here with us.
You bet, Jared.
I already got my bucket list scratched when you took the gun away from me, so I don't have to say much.
House Representative Max Brooks. Glad to have you with us here this morning, sir.
Well, I'm real happy to be here. Thank you. Honored.
Just
hold it up.
There you go, right there. Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
It just folds into place.
Teddy Collins, running for Colorado State Senate. And how you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having me here today. This is awesome.
Sheriff Jason Mikesell. Did I say the last name right?
You got it right. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, sir, we're excited to have you with us this morning.
Well, I'm excited to be here.
Levon Stilson. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you got it.
Levon, it's so good to have you on the show today. And you're running for Senate here in Colorado.
Yeah, Senate District 11.
Senate District 11. Sir, are you having a good day so far?
Fantastic.
How's the coffee?
You know what? I haven't taken a first sip.
Uh-oh. Well, we're going to have you on video with the first reaction here.
This will be a good live reaction video.
Here's Levon Stilson's take on Oodalali coffee.
Fantastic.
It's nice to have you on with us, Sheriff Steve Reams. Excited to have you. Thank you for making the drive this morning, sir.
Thanks for having me. It was quite a drive.
This episode 70?
Dude,
Or is this episode
I was hoping you weren't going
69?
to ask me. I think it's 69.
We have pastor and House Representative and
Gubernatorial
candidate Scott Bottoms with us today. How are you, sir?
I am great, and thanks for having me on.
And we've got a guest on, and we're excited for her to be able to share her story. Michelle Chandler, District 23 Senator and gubernatorial candidate. Barb Kirkmeyer made the trip out to be with us. We're excited to have a conversation with you today. Hopefully the drive wasn't too bad for you.
Drive was great.
Awesome. We're excited to have a conversation with you today. You ready?
Born ready.
All right. We're excited to have a guest with us this morning, Joe Oltman. How are you doing today, Joe?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for being on the show with us. We're excited to have a conversation with you, sir.
Good to be here.
Let's not forget the 4 dogs.
Oh yeah, a guy that owns
four
a guy
dogs.
that a guy that has some dogs.
I'm just saying that might be the single most important part so far.
That
I've heard.
is true.
A man that loves 4 dogs has already got my attention.
Episode 73 today, and we're excited because we have a guest with us, Senate candidate for District 27.
27.
We have
27.
Danielle Lemons on the show with us today. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me today.
Amanda Calderon, candidate for U.S. Senate, and we're excited to have a conversation with you today. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
This is George Brockler, District Attorney.
Just George, man.
Just George.
Just
We're
George.
just going to leave it at George. Excited to have a conversation with you today. Thank you for coming out, sir.
Are you kidding? Thanks for having me on this thing. This thing is blowing up. So to be a part of it's a big honor. Thank you.
It's episode 82 today. Excited to have a guest with us, Nick Rogers of Big Timber Lodge
Armory.
and Big Timber Armory.
Yes.
Excited to have on with us Matt Alexander, House District candidate for District 60.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We've got a field trip episode, our very first shooting pod. We've got Teddy Collins here. He's invited us out to his range. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daily Carry Podcast, episode 89 today. And we're excited to have a sit-down episode with Victor Marks. This is the gubernatorial shootout series, and we're excited to be here with Victor Marks. How are you today, sir?
Doing great. Glad to be here. Let's have some fun.
Let's do it. But we've got a guest with us today. We've got John Valla, retired peace officer, with us. Excited to have a conversation with him. Gubernatorial shootout series, and we are here with Scott Bottoms. How are you doing today, sir?
I am dandy. Looking forward to this.
Those are all with almost a silver dollar of each other. Nice.
What are you laughing about?
We got the Kirkmeyer flip is flying now.
The gubernatorial shootout series. We're here with Barbara Kirkmeyer, and we're excited to have another episode with her. How you doing today, Barb?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Episode 99 today, and we're excited to have another guest on set with us today, Kyle Sheldon. How you feeling this morning, sir?
I'm feeling awesome. Hey, I did jujitsu this morning. What a better way to start the day than that, you know?
Yeah.
Prayer.
Well, okay, prayer.
Prayer, Kyle.
Hey, we have a flag
We'll
right
talk
there.
right there.
Jesus and jiu-jitsu, okay?
Maybe we can talk
in
about
that
that
order, though.
We should talk about that.
In the past 100 episodes and almost 20 million views, if I was going to sum it all up and say, this is what there is to be learned in this experience, I would definitely say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daily Carry Podcast, episode 100 today. We have made it. This is it. Triple digits.
Triple digits.
We're gonna be here for a while.
Joe Rogan said, what's his number again?
100 today, and man, it's been quite a first year. We just now did the math on. We just released our first episode June 24th. We're just a couple days from there, so It's been almost a year of the Daily Carry Podcast. Here we are at 100 episodes. It is pretty crazy to think about.
Time flies.
Yes, it does. Seems like it was just a couple days ago that we were sitting down in here without the mics and everything, and we were trying to record a podcast with iPhones, and didn't turn out so good. So we were like, you know what? Let's
Better get a microphone.
Let's maybe make this a little bit more professional, and we did. So, man, it's been amazing the doors that have opened the past year, man.
It has.
I mean, crazy.
Yeah.
With gubernatorial candidates, senators, House representatives, actresses.
Yeah.
I mean, you name
Faith
it. It's
stories. JWIs clicking off one after another.
Yeah.
In the middle of all of it, carry your cross challenge.
Yeah, man. So much.
Started a church.
So much to talk about as to what's happened over the past year alone. But I figured I would share some metrics for those that are online and show some appreciation.
Yeah.
Because we started a podcast, and whenever you do that, you kind of just like, okay, hopefully people listen.
Yep.
Well, thankfully people have listened. And I was just doing the math this morning, going through all the different platforms and just trying to find the metrics on how many views across all platforms. And conservatively, but confidently, I can say that it's right under 20 million views.
No way.
Across all platforms.
20 million.
That's including shorts, longs, everything. But regardless, almost 20 million views in 100 episodes. I think that's
That's impressive.
For a couple dudes who just said, let's do a podcast.
wing
I think that's doing pretty good.
I think
You know?
that is the do you remember the day when we were standing in the coffee shop and I said, it'd be cool. You should put a window right there to where you can look through the gym. And what would be really cool is if you could put a mezzanine in your gym and you could do like a podcast. I think we named off 4 or 5 things you could use it for.
Yeah.
And at the time you were like JWI and you could look down and do commentary. And it was like, I don't remember the exact time frame, but it felt like it was like within like 8 minutes or something. You go, hey, I got a mezzanine.
Yeah.
For nobody that if you don't know Jared at this point in time, Jared, everything up here Jared bought, and he bought it like on Facebook Marketplace.
Marketplace is the move.
It's the move. And he's like, I found a mezzanine, and this guy's going to deliver it. I hope it fits. I think it's going to fit. And it's
literally perfect.
I mean, is it an inch?
Yeah.
On both ends of the build or the roof.
Yeah, I mean, we had to get the bar grating that extended a little bit, and then we cut it.
Yeah.
And then we put a bracket on the wall because it was about 2 feet off going that way, but we were still able to make it fit, and now it fits like a glove.
Yeah.
And man, the story even just of the mezzanine and getting it in here, the guy that had promised the world. I got this off of Facebook Marketplace from a guy who was selling it, saying that it was a mezzanine that used to be in a sports authority, and throughout the whatever happened with the bankruptcy or whatever, they sent this to auction or something. And then the location that it used to be, I guess right now it's a what's that other one that's in Colorado here?
Dick Sporting Goods?
No, they took over some of the sports authority locations, or at least one of them.
Well, I should
the one
know
this
that.
came from. What's that store called, man? REI. That's what it is.
I would have never gone there. All right.
Yeah. So this mezzanine, the guy on Marketplace is like, yeah, because I was like, listen, I can't even do this. Like, I don't want to do this unless you can bring it and you know how to install it. He was supposed to be bringing like a whole crew, and he was like, he kept on telling me it's going to take like maybe an hour. That's what this guy kept on telling me. He shows up hours late. Like I had a crew of guys because he messaged me the same day. He's like, hey, I actually don't have any help. I'm like, what?
But he did bring sparkling water. Remember that?
That was iced tea.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, iced tea.
It was goofy looking bottles of something. That's all I know is when he pulled in, he's like, I don't have people, but I got this.
And so I had asked a bunch of guys from the gym. Some of them couldn't even stay because he was so late. So they had to
we were
leave.
here till like 3 a.m.
And then he shows up and he didn't even have all the stuff.
Yeah.
He told me that he had the railing and everything.
Yeah.
And then so we had a plan to put the stairs were going to be on that side. Then we realized that the pole was going to be right in front of one of the doors. And we're like, okay, that's not going to work. Thankfully, we were able to think quickly and rotate this bad boy to where the stairs are on that side. And now it works, fits fine. But that entire process was so stressful because I was trying to get this done before JWI 2.
Yep.
And it wasn't looking like that was going to happen. I had to get one of my buddies who's a welder to help figure out the railings, and we got it done.
Yep.
But man, it was stressful, and it called for some very late nights kind of back to back for getting this thing done. But it's cool. It turned out cool.
It's great now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that night well. I remember when we put it in, we went, crap, we got to turn it around. And then had to take it apart.
And we had already put something together.
Yeah, we had to take it apart to spin it. And it's only like, I don't know. How heavy do you think it is?
Oh, it's heavy.
I mean,
not as heavy as you probably would think, but
it was like 10 or 12 dudes.
Yeah.
To move it.
Yeah. I mean, put it this way, probably one of those joists is at least probably like 100 pounds plus. Just one of those down beams. I don't think.
Yeah, this thing is. Yeah.
The bar grating's ridiculously heavy.
It is. Yeah, I mean, this is thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
It's cool though. It came out. It looks good too.
Yeah. So what's cool about it is we throw this up, then JWI2, massive. It was awesome, man. That solidified that's what the people wanted to see.
Yep.
And it's crazy because, I mean, you and me met literally right before we did anything with Jay. We and you met like before I launched Pit Boss Grappling.
Yeah.
And so I launched that, and then you were here for JWI1. You were on the handheld. You did most of the recording on that video on YouTube that is edited and up on that channel now. And then just progressively more and more events, and it's been awesome. But still, every single one, it's improvements, checking things off the list, getting things. This next one, man, I was telling you in the coffee shop, we got some new equipment for this one that's going to make it. I think we're going to have. It's going to be bringing. I hope it's going to bring our live stream from middle school league to professional league.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes for that. I think that the live stream is going to be awesome. I think that's been the one piece that we've maybe been missing for the JWI ecosystem. Is just the live stream has always been lacking in some area. So this next one, next Saturday, June 27th, JWI 6, it's where things are going to start to get real serious.
Going on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's been the year's been an interesting journey as far as the podcast, who's come on, what's opened up because of it. There's a whole wall of names up there now. Some fairly notable people. Even Tatiana Gadar, having her come out from the whole John Wick thing, and just everything's been fun. It's been a neat experience. Like if somebody had said, "Well, what do you think it should look like?" I'd have thought it'd be me and Jared sitting on talking about stuff.
Yeah,
and it turned into anything but that. I mean, we had our episodes for sure, but it's just really cool looking back in hindsight, and then the amount of people that have come in, and then really kind of a lot of these folks are on somewhat of a national platform at this point because of their races, things that are going on. We've had the opportunity to have a couple podcasts with each of them now, at least the governors.
Yeah.
As much as the good, there's even controversy in some of the stuff, and we've had to navigate through that. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey. I've had people. I think the thing that has gotten me the most, I was telling you right before we walked up the stairs, I had some people reach out, and they get on the Facebook page now, and it's the little one-off comments like, "Hey, I was watching one of your episodes the other day," and they're like from South Carolina, and it was somebody I worked at the sheriff's department. So I guess it makes sense because they knew my name, but I didn't know like they were watching, and they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, I've been watching like 50 episodes." Like, what? You didn't say anything. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's great." So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun talking to people when you find out somebody's been watching.
Yeah.
You've got connection with it. You had no idea. And they're like, "Oh, here's that one episode, that one thing you guys talked about." And I'm like, "Oh, it's so cool." So 20 million views, and I got friends that are reaching out saying that they've been watching, and yeah, it's fun.
Totally agree. It's been super cool that we just decided to start a podcast. And if you remember, we referenced it several times in the first couple episodes as we're kind of finding our rhythm and confidence behind camera and microphone. We're like, hey, me and Micah sit down and talk often.
Yeah.
And that's why we had this on the table right here, iron sharpens iron, because we referenced that. We've still referenced it pretty much every episode, but we really made the explanation, listen, this podcast, if it is listened to by one person who's been able to be positively impacted, awesome, it was worth it. We made the commitment that we're having these conversations regularly anyways. We might as well put a camera on us and put a microphone on us and let the world listen, in hopes that somebody could be encouraged, strengthened, and sharpened. And so that's been the intent really since the beginning. Do we talk about everything? Yeah, we made that announcement first episode. We're going to talk about a little bit about everything. We're just going to talk. And that's what we've done. We have wandered into a lot of political conversations, but with even the wandering, we've kept it grounded and centered in faith. And we've still had a whole lot of fun with tactics and daily carry stuff and all that, which has just been awesome. I think if you were to have asked me a couple years ago if I thought I'd ever have a podcast where we're talking about all this stuff and having as much fun as we've been having, it's been fun. It's been work. There's been highs. There's been lows.
Yeah.
There's always people in the comments. But if you'd asked me, I'd have been like, man, if I would have described an ideal picture-perfect podcast that I would have been excited to be a part of, it would have been this.
Yeah.
Would have been, man, we're always talking about faith. We're able to have some fun, talk about training, tactics, jiu-jitsu, guns, knives, and a little bit of politics here and there. Sure. Yeah. Let's do it. So the way that this thing has just shaped up and taken form, I mean, we were, when we started this, we were very much open-minded to just kind of let conversations come and go. We still are. It's not like if somebody calls or texts or messages, they want to come on the show, majority of the time, the answer is going to be yes.
Yeah.
Come on the show. Come have a conversation with us. And that doesn't have to be a person of status. Doesn't have to be a person who's a politician. Doesn't have to be. That was one of the biggest reasons I was excited to launch the Faith Factor series with Kyle this past Tuesday.
Yeah.
And keep that going, is because I want to hear testimonies. I want to hear what God has done in people's lives. And to me, that's one of the most important things that we could continue to bring the conversation to, because we've already done that in almost every conversation that we've had with people, where they'll talk about politics, their race, their position if they're already in office, and then they'll also share their faith journey. They'll share their testimony.
Right.
One of the episodes that really stands out, and being one of the first episodes that happened, was whenever Elijah Crane came on.
Oh, yeah.
And it was amazing that a politician, he is in politics, but I mean, he's a former Navy SEAL, businessman extraordinaire, Shark Tank success, and now a congressman. And he comes on, and probably 90% of the episode is him sharing his faith.
Yeah.
Talking about giving God your yes.
We just talked about that, he and I, last week, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah. We were doing a catch up, and he said, "Hey, that was fun." He goes, "That was good." He goes, I do a lot of interviews. I don't get to do interviews like that where I can just share. So, and by the way, it's not former, it's just retired.
Former.
It's just
retired.
Instead of former.
Navy SEAL.
It's just it's just retired Navy SEAL. We just had a fun. We had a typical Micah Eli conversation. We'd just catch up, garbage talk, ping pong back and forth in a conversation for 10 minutes and hang up, and then we do it again next month. And we've been doing that for years. But he said, yeah, it was fun. I mean, he actually brought that up and said it was a good time, and just really enjoyed the format. He says it's something he's got a fond memory of. He says most of them, they just kind of go by the wayside because he does so many.
Yeah.
He goes, that one. He goes, that Sean Ryan, when he did the one with Tom on there that day, and they were talking about the swamp and really what happens behind closed doors and that kind of stuff. So it's been good. It's been, plus it's good to, I think it's created for me. I don't know. I can't speak for you entirely, but it's created some friendships out of it too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I've met some people that now I talk to on a semi-regular basis, and regardless of what or why or the how we got there, it's neat. Like I see people at church every Sunday now that have been on the podcast that are local politicians that now come to my church.
Yeah.
Whether they came there for the podcast or not, I can't say that wink, wink, but I can tell you they're at our church because of the podcast probably.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I meant no offense, Navy SEALs out there.
Oh,
you never lose your trident.
No, yeah, it's unless you've been dishonorably discharged or something, it's always just retired.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed that episode with Elijah Crane. That was awesome, and we had only been maybe a couple months into the men's group at that point too.
Yeah.
And what he was covering was exactly what we had been discussing in detail at the men's group, which is, that to me is awesome. It's just like he was able to come in, different state, representing a totally different community, but still representing the body of Christ.
Yeah.
Being Jesus Christ centered, minded, and being able to come in, share faith, share his testimony, and it be impactful. And there's men in the group that still will reference that episode and say, man, it's pretty awesome what happened whenever we were in that stage of the men's group. And then Elijah came out and started talking about the same things we were talking about. And somebody else who said the same thing or similar to what you just now said that Eli said was Joe Altman. Whenever he came on, after, he was like, man, that's like the most fun I've ever had on a podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. He must be doing something.
He's one of the most intense guys when you watch he's into the Dominion thing and the system. I mean, he's done so much work. He even posted last night some stuff that they have now finally been able to, like, in lockstep prove. But yeah, it was like he walked. I remember he walked right over there in that corner, just trying to, because that was great. He was like, that was the most fun I've had in a long time. Didn't feel set up, beat up, just was able to talk. He even got a little emotional when he was sitting in the chair there.
Yeah.
Something that happened in his past. So I think that's, Jane asked me, it's probably 2 weeks ago, it was right before she left for Japan. She said, hey, you're coming up on the 100th episode. What are you going to talk about? I'm like, well, probably just talk about everything that's happened up until this point. And she says, so what's your takeaway? If you had a takeaway of the thing, I said, well, Jared's the hardest working guy I know. And she's like, I know that. She's like, no, the podcast. And I said, the openness that people are willing to go to is my takeaway. That people will come on here and drop their guard and share their heart.
Yeah.
I think is probably the one thing that I've appreciated the most. Because whether it's happened in here or it's been like outdoor on the range or something, everything has come kind of from this. I mean, even the Carry Your Cross Challenge. So look how many walls came down because of that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the authenticity, and then I get a reminder from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, if I miss something, the Yoaster. I'll get a text, and he's like, "Look, need a sit rep," and I'm like, "All right," and I'll reach out to him. He's like, "Look, it's been too long. Got to talk. What happened? We missed an episode last week." I mean, like, I'm like, dude, we didn't miss it. We had to pre-record it. It's a thing. You got to get it up, man. Every Tuesday and Thursday. This is my 7 a.m.
Love it.
So that kind of stuff is very important. I mean, yeah, we're buddies, but he thrives on it. I mean, he sits back and he listens to it. And I mean, and he just, it's weird because he quotes stuff right out of it when we're talking. He'll pick up something on an episode and he'll be like, that time you were doing. So
like, I said what?
Yeah. That's why I asked you before the podcast, hey, you remember that episode? I want to hear what I said. I like that. Like that actually brings value to me because I know him on a personal level and care for this guy. I love this guy. And he came into my life at just the right time and things we've shared. But it's the fact that he's just been in lockstep with this all along. And the kind of human being is I like that. Like that brings me I mean, I could cry over it, but it brings me joy.
Yeah.
Knowing that somebody's out there getting something out of it at that level.
I remember the first time, this was probably maybe 2 or 3 months into the podcast. I remember the first time that a guy came up to me and said, hey, what you're doing with the podcast, it's really got me thinking about a lot of things. I just wanted to thank you. Keep doing what you're doing and keep pointing people in the right direction. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. Because up to that point, I'm kind of just like, all right, we're talking, me and Micah, hopefully we make a difference. Hopefully it reaches one person and it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And then for somebody to actually be face-to-face and say, hey, what you're talking about is actually impacting me. That was like, whoa, okay. We're doing this for a reason.
And then to find out that it's hit 20 million.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That was the first time that a guy came and said that. And then since then, there's been so many conversations where even there'll sometimes be people that I know, and then sometimes it'll literally be people that I don't know. They'll reach out. Hey, you don't know me, but I've been listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
Just wanted to thank you for what you're doing. That to me is so cool because regardless of what people think, it takes quite a bit to have enough courage to just put anything out that's like this, like for the whole world to see on the internet. And people are always going to have things to say, positive, negative, in the middle, probably a lot of times more negative than positive. And it's been something that throughout the past year, we've just been able to keep doing. And the way that, at least for me, that I've been able to move forward with conviction, with motivation to keep going is because of those conversations of, hey, what you're saying, what you guys are doing on the podcast, it's impacting me, and people, it's the word's getting out. I've got friends talking about it. Those conversations have been so encouraging and so motivating to the point where, wow, there's people listening. And as long as we keep this show rooted in what it's supposed to be rooted in, and we keep having honest, real conversations pointed and grounded in truth, then it is making a difference. There's enough people out there that are just sugarcoating all their words and just trying to appease everybody and just grow a platform. I think the coolest part about what we've done is it hasn't really been, the biggest motivation has not been growth. The biggest motivation has been actual personal reach, impacting people on a personal level and encouraging people,
So I got something I haven't shared with you. This is actually very cool. So Tuesday, it's Thursday? Yeah. So Tuesday night, I'm at the office. Tyler Peterson, who's the head trainer at DCF, top 5 in the world. I mean, in the world. Like this guy is unbelievable. Calls me up. He's like, hey, can you come down? I want you to just watch a class and kind of instruct with me short. He goes, we're going to do some movement stuff. And it just came out of the blue, just phone call. Otherwise I wouldn't have been there. And again, you got to watch this guy shoot. It's incredible. He's my new hero. He's good, dude. Good. So I go down and I get to DCF. We go into the range and we're inside. There's flip targets and timed, and we're doing some tactical stuff. And I'm having a lot of fun. This is the first time I've done at this level that kind of stuff in honestly a hot minute. In with my eyesight, I'm point shooting, but it's all CQB stuff, so it's working out great for me. And I'm sitting there, and this lady just keeps looking over. She's there with her husband, and she keeps staring at me. I would put him probably 50-ish, black couple. And she's right in the middle of the thing. She comes up and she goes, I got to ask you a question. I know you from somewhere, and it's driving me crazy. And she goes, I've seen you. I can't place it. She goes, do you have a podcast? And I said, I co-host one. And she goes, did you have on, and then she couldn't remember the person's name to save her life, but she was talking about one of the people up here on the wall. Okay. And I said, yeah. And she literally grabs a hold. She comes over, hugs me, and steps back, and she goes, you have no idea. She goes, I did not. She goes, I've been sitting here. I couldn't remember your name. She goes, and I was embarrassed to ask. And she goes, I have watched every episode since that episode.
Wow.
And she was talking about Danielle Lamons.
Yeah.
She said, I like that girl. Like, she goes, I like everything she stands for. I've been following her. And when she came on your podcast, I'd never heard of it. And she goes, and I tuned in and I don't like your podcast. So 48 hours ago, I had this personal interaction with a woman I've never seen before in my life, comes over and gives me a hug and says, you have no idea how much that meant. And I'm like, you have no idea how much this means. And, I wouldn't even have been there if Tyler hadn't called. So it's those kind of things. Like what you were just talking about. I'm just standing here and she's like, keep going. And she, she's just rah-rahing me and high-fiving. And, and her husband's like, yeah, she's a little over the top. I said, no, she's awesome. It was a fun conversation. Yeah. But it's stuff like that just, look, if you're thinking about starting a podcast, that right there is reason enough for me.
Yeah.
When somebody walks up to you and just goes, it helps. It gives me something.
Yeah.
It's like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think that there is probably a pretty decent argument to be made that whenever you have a podcast that you are grounded in faith and trying to reach people in a way that helps them and positively affects them, encourages them, sharpens them, this is kind of like a genre or a niche in the podcast world that I'm not necessarily going to say underserved, but it seems like it's probably one of the harder ones to actually find a stride in, especially whenever it's grounded in that, and then it's still a conversation about everything.
Yeah.
Because majority of podcasts are pretty pointed. Like, this is it. There's some podcasts that are an exception, but most of the podcasts that are exceptions are like big podcasts, like Joe Rogan and Sean Ryan. They just have guests on, and they talk about anything and everything. And that's awesome. That's good. And it's cool to see both of those guys on a faith journey and how that's developed over time. But specifically to be starting and have the foundation be, hey, we want to make sure that conversations are always pointed back, tied heavily to faith. But we'll still talk about everything. We'll talk about the politics. We'll talk about what's wrong in the world. We'll talk about crazy stuff. We'll do the daily scroll, add some entertainment value. But at the end of the day, the mission here is the daily carry is to talk about how you and me can carry what we carry it well, carry it better, and then hopefully the end result be that it encourages and positively affects somebody else to be able to carry what they're called to carry better.
Right.
That's it.
I would echo that. There's an interesting little spinoff in this thing too, because of the political season that we're in right now. I think it's been a benefit. I mean, there's speed bumps that go with it. And this is a positive podcast, so I'm certainly not going to focus on any of the negative that comes in the political season. Everybody knows what that is. But I will say this. The one thing that's come out of it on the political side is we've had the opportunity to talk to candidates and speak to some folks on some fairly, I would say, deep stuff that is happening right now. And this platform was able to be used to answer some of those questions,
to
spread some of that word. As this thing progresses, there may even be a couple investigations that we will be able to at least talk about or speak into on some level of things that certain political figureheads are going through or claims that they've made. So we've been able to dive into some stuff that's actually a little bit deeper and a little bit heavier that actually impacts the entire state.
Yeah.
And I've been, whether people are on board with a specific candidate is not the point, or whether you have your person, that's not what I'm getting at. It's just the fact that they've trusted us to be able to come on and have a medium to source that information or to put things out.
Yeah.
And not, and I mean, these people will text with us now. I mean, they'll reach out and go back and forth. So it's not that we just had them on the podcast and they left. I mean, now I get stuff on my phone, you get stuff on your phone. There's Q&As that go back and forth, and there's a comfort level to be able to reach out to them and talk to them. And that's been nice because it's opened up a door there too, as well.
Yeah.
So there's avenues that have come from this that for me that were somewhat unexpected.
I'll double down and say completely unexpected. I didn't think that we were going to be interviewing gubernatorial candidates, that I think we'd have occasional conversations with politicians. Yeah, sure. I was open to that. Didn't know how quickly we were going to just start racking up signatures on the wall here, but it's been cool because we've been able to approach it from a completely different place, I think, than most people that are out there. We don't have much of a dog in the fight other than we just want faith and common sense to be brought back to this state, whatever means necessary. I guess I should maybe curtail that a little bit.
Maybe a touch.
But we have facilitated conversations that have been, for the most part, really unbiased. We've both been on a journey of really discovering who these candidates are, who these people are, behind the scenes, behind the curtain, as well as on that forefront, being on the stage, being on set, being behind a microphone. And we've really been able to learn and get kind of decently close to a lot of these people that have come on the podcast. And there's been really good relationships that have sprung out of this, even relationships with people that do not get along with each other.
Oh, very much so. That's where I was going to go with
despise each other.
I wasn't even sure if I should speak into that or not.
I mean, we've already referenced it several times. I mean, people know, like, we've had people on this podcast that do not like each other.
Yeah.
And regardless of that, hopefully at the end of the day, I've said it on the podcast many times, blessed are the peacemakers.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're doing our best to build bridges and help there be unity, peace as much as possible. You know, it's never going to be perfect. We're not living in a perfect world at the moment. So, you know, we've got to make do with what we've got. But I definitely think that there's room for a lot of people to do better and there to be less infighting if people can just kind of set aside some differences. And hopefully we've done a good job of kind of setting that tone on the podcast. I think that we have. And I think that that's why we've had as many doors as we have had open.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that we would have had all the doors open to interview all the candidates if we weren't doing a good job of walking in that diplomacy.
Right.
You know, and so to continue to get phone calls. I mean, you just got reached out by Greg Lopez, and he's coming on the podcast next week. So that'll be a good conversation. So for people,
I got to thank Chris Hernandez for that, by the way.
I'm not sure who that is.
You wouldn't. So Chris and I went to church up at Southeast for years and years and years and years. I mean, I feel like I've known Chris for probably 20 years or so. Good. He's just a good man, just a good, honorable Christian man. He knows in some way, shape, or form, has dealt with Greg for years. He just he's buddies with Greg. And he says, hey, you got to go down and get on this podcast with Micah and Jared. So he actually started this conversation. So here's the irony of this. He actually started this conversation with me on the gubernatorial candidacy side before we had ever talked about having a candidate on. He reached out to me. This is going back months and months ago. And I said, sure, sounds great. Figure it out. And the irony is it was going to happen, and then something didn't happen. And then Greg went from Republican to, I guess, independent, right? That's what he's running as. And so there was a couple speed bumps that happened, but the long and the short of that, or short of the long, I guess, is that he reached out to me 3 days ago and texted me and said, hey, you'll probably be hearing from the campaign. Sure enough, they called the next day, and we got them scheduled and lined up. So it's just stuff, it's just It was organic through my friendship and relationship with Chris, who's been nothing but supportive in this entire process. I mean, he's quiet. He's on the back side. He watches a lot. He watches a lot what's happening. So
That's awesome.
yeah, he linked us up.
It's just so cool to me that the doors keep on opening, and it's not just politicians, and it'll be even more so people that want to come on and share their faith, you know, and politicians are able to do that too. I've really enjoyed whenever we've ended every episode with prayer and just being able to extend that invitation without a ton of pressure to somebody. If they want to say the prayer in closing, then they can. If not, we'll take it. It's fine. But I've just enjoyed being able to sit down with people from all kinds of walks of life and just be able to, at the end of the conversation, know that somehow, some way it's been tied to and rooted to what matters the most, that we're not just talking about the current. We're not just talking about what's happening right now, but we're also tying this into eternity and what really matters. That's, to me, that's the most important conversations that we can have. And just looking up at the wall at all these names, I mean, it's crazy to think that these people have all come on the podcast. It's been a year. I mean, we started this thing. We didn't know. Like, you just kind of start and you just kind of take that leap of faith.
Right.
And you just start having conversations. We had a lot of conversations, just you and me, before our first guests, which was our wives. Well, Zion was before that, actually, the American Bulldog extraordinaire. But our wives coming on, having a conversation with them, which was awesome, being able to just kind of share some time talking with them and talking about our backstory.
And they hinge on our every word in every episode, too.
Yeah, they're our biggest fans.
People do not realize just how involved they are.
Yeah. But then, you know, I mean, really, I think one of the first guests that we had after them was Eli, right? Was it Eli?
It was Darren, Brett. So it was Brett, Titus, Darren, Eli.
Yeah,
I don't
you're
remember
right.
which order it was, but it was. I reached out to the only reason that Darren stands out is because we'd had the conversation. I was trying to get him on for like a month. And I finally just called him one day and I'm like, dude, I don't care what you're doing. Stop being a cop today. come on the show. Put away your sheriff badge. Come on, wear a T-shirt. Let's have some fun. And the first thing he does, he shows up in full uniform. And I'm like, dude. He's like, he goes, I got to go to court after this and this and the other. And he goes, but we're doing this podcast. And he spent a good amount of time with us. That was the longer.
That was a good episode too.
That was a fun episode.
It was really cool to hear his story, his upbringing.
21 Jump Street.
He got into being a police officer and now being sheriff. Speaking of which, I got to figure out which department will be willing to come out with a squad car and arrest me for a video.
Oh, he'll do that. You want to set that up?
I was trying. I'll have to talk to you a little bit about it off here. I just want somebody to come with a cop car, put me in some handcuffs, slam me on the front of the car, and then I'm going to look up at the camera because it's the overlay. Meg's been helping us with all of our social media, so she sent me this video of like arrested for going over the top for your students. So I wanted to make a video, but actually be arrested, thrown on the hood of a cop car.
Just have Ralph do it.
I was trying. All right, we'll talk about this a little bit off air.
I'll figure it out.
I was trying. I told him, I said, you know what? I can actually break the law.
Yeah.
You guys are soft on crime anyways.
Oh, my God.
Not you guys. Sorry. I know it's a different department. The judicial system's soft. I'll get off with the hand slap anyways.
Yeah, that's funny.
So if I need to actually break the law a little bit to get arrested for this video, I guess I'm going to have to do what I have to do. But no, I'm just joking. But talking about this, these guests, that was awesome to have Brett on, Darren on, and then Eli right after that. And then who's the next guest after Eli? I'm trying to think. I'm looking at the wall. I'm looking at the names, and I don't really remember.
I think it was Levi.
Oh, no. Levi Stilson came on after. I thought it was after Victor Marks. I think it might have been after Victor Marks.
Victor was early because a lot of people, when Victor came on, then other people said, "Oh, Victor came on. We want to come on."
Yeah,
and
I think it was Tatiana after.
Was
Darren.
it Tatiana? Was she?
And then it was Victor after Tatiana.
Okay,
I think. Yeah,
it could be. I don't know. I've lost track. I should have kept better track. The only reason Levi jumped on my mic is I knew he was early on the Senate side of things. But yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe it was Tatiana because that was for JWI.
Yeah,
and then Victor came to JWI.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes more sense.
I'm pretty sure Tatiana came on.
Dude, she's exploded. Have you seen her?
Yeah,
stuff?
which is cool because we're supposed to have Taryn on. That's been in the works for a while. We'll just most likely Zoom unless he comes to another JWI at some point. But then we also had Tim Kennedy reach out. He said he'll come on the podcast.
Will he?
He said that. Yeah.
Right.
We'll see if he holds up to it, but he said he would. He said he'll do a podcast with us, so I'm assuming it's just a matter of getting the timing and logistics figured out. We'll have him on. That'll be cool. And then we got a lot of people right now that are just reaching out. And I will say that the episode with Victor, as short as it was, the first one that we did with him, it definitely did seem to get a lot of people reaching out to us.
Yeah.
People wanted to come on the show. And so, yeah, we had Levi Stilson, and then we had Teddy Collins. And also, I'll definitely say Teddy Collins has been super helpful in connecting with so many people. He's a lot of the people we've had on has been because of Teddy Collins.
I'll tell you what's good about that dude. Well, he's on a lot of different levels. I really like Teddy as a person. He's come to our church now. His reputation precedes him. At least this is what I've learned now. So, I mean, his biggest competitor is Joe Oltmann, and Joe loves Teddy.
Yeah,
he's like, he goes, yeah, we got a gun store down there. He's got a gun store. He goes, I totally support this guy. He's a good dude. When you know your competitors are in your camp and cheering for you, on both the business front and the political front, that's a good feeling, I think. And Teddy's just got a great personality. He's just.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's an endearing guy.
We'll have him on again. He keeps on saying.
He's
he's already been on more episodes than anybody else.
Yeah.
At least as a cameo.
It's his range.
Yeah.
Here comes Teddy. No, he's fun. He's lighthearted. He's very driven. He reminds me of you in many ways. Actually, he's just really let's go do it. We got it.
Yeah.
He's just a business guy. He's an entrepreneur, in heart.
Yeah.
He's funny too. That's the other thing I like about him. He's always got a Teddy. I call him Teddyisms. He throws out there. So, but yeah, Victor. I think Victor, despite many things and many feelings and many the junk surrounding Victor and all the things that are going on, you got to give Victor props on one thing. His name recognition brought a lot of people this direction, and I've shook his hand twice and thanked him for that. Like, hey, having you on, really, we appreciate that. That first podcast was actually not a great overall podcast as far as podcasts go. It was short.
Yeah,
we didn't get to cover a lot, but the fact that he came on opened some doors, and the fact that he was willing to do round two was great. Well, the fact that they all did it, but yeah, it's been an interesting journey for at least for me on the political side, because I've seen the good, I've seen a little bit of the bad, I've seen a little bit of the behind the scenes, and it's given me some perspective.
Yeah,
so I've gotten things out of it as well.
Agreed, and I mean. From there, the wall is full. We've had people from Danielle Lammons, like we talked about, to having Amanda Calderon on, and then Michelle Chandler coming on, sharing her story.
I just chatted with her yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
I keep up.
Yeah,
I'm keeping up probably with 70% of the board up here.
Yeah, it's been awesome that these have developed into actual relationships. And. It's been cool to be able to keep up with the people that have come on the show and be able to just stay connected and keep supporting each other. That's been super cool.
Where do you see it going?
But I think that it's going to be a lot more of what we've done, and it's just going to. I'm hoping it's going to continue to just grow in its reach and its effectiveness to actually be a voice of reason and a platform that is used more than anything to just be a source of encouragement, point people to the source. Point people to the well that won't run dry. Point people to truth and get people sharpened. And, at the end of the day, you and me, we can't do that. It's only God.
True that.
It's only God. And so really my goal is to stay grounded and rooted in that, knowing that I'm really, in the grand scheme of things, nothing, nobody. And Jesus Christ is everything. And the only reason that I'm able to have a conversation with anybody and affect any amount of change is because I've been changed by the only person who can actually change somebody for the better.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I don't want to lead people to me. I don't want to lead people to my opinions. And I know that that's not what this show is about. Do we have opinions on stuff? Oh, yeah, left and right, definitely. But the way that I believe people can truly be changed for the better is by them being able to go to the source, not just having to depend on a second hand or a third hand, hand-me-down, or just, Jared said it, Micah said it, their guest on there said it, so I'm going to believe it. But instead, go into it for themselves and continuing to point people to trying to seek out having an encounter with Jesus. That's what the show's all about. And I think that as we have more and more people on and it grows and we have more conversations with people of all walks of life, that's the thing. There's a scripture that I read not long ago that really hit me pretty hard, because I think that we'll have people on that are political candidates. We'll have people on that are actors, military. We'll have people that are on that are podcasters. We'll have more and more guests on of notoriety. And then we'll also have guests on that just want to come on and share their testimony.
Yeah.
That maybe they are aspiring to be a podcaster. Maybe they're aspiring to be more involved in spreading the message online. Or maybe it's just, no, I just want to share my testimony on here, and I'm kind of good. I don't really want to be online more than this, but I'm willing to come on the podcast and share my testimony. And I'm interested in those conversations. And Scripture says, not to forsake hanging out with ordinary people. Don't be too good. Don't act like you're too good. And at the end of the day, people's testimonies are people's testimonies. God is God and God is good. And I want to hear all about his goodness. And I want to have a platform where people of all walks of life are able to come on and just share their testimony. And I think that people can be incredibly encouraged and affected positively by people sharing their stories. I mean, some of the best episodes that we've had is whenever at least more than 70% of the episode was talking about faith.
Yeah.
I get it. We can't be too heavenly minded to be of no earthly good, as the saying goes. But at the same time, I think that we can talk about everything that's going on in the world and have that faith lens, that faith perspective, and everything make a whole lot more sense. And at the end of the conversation with the politician, not be totally just knocked down and drug out and just think, man, there's no hope for the world. But if we frame everything through that perspective and that lens of faith, then everything becomes more hopeful. That's the only hope that we truly have. It's not in somebody running for office that we really like and we really believe in.
Sure.
It's that, no, I have faith, and I have faith in Jesus Christ. And I know that no matter what happens to me on this earth, to live is Christ, to die is gain. And so I think that there's going to be a whole lot more of that, a whole lot more conversations that are just sharing testimonies. And from the top to the bottom, everybody that we have on the podcast, really leaning into that more, continuing with the foundation of what we've already kind of set for the tone and the expectation on the show. Still going through, daily scrolls and talking about what's going on in the world, but continuing to just bring it full circle to talking about faith, sharing testimonies. I see a whole lot more of that, and I'm looking forward to it because I believe that there's a lot of people out there that have incredible testimonies. And the episode where me and you shared our testimonies, just those episodes of sharing how uncoincidental it is. There's no way that it's just coincidence. Those episodes we titled "Why Am I Here?"
Right.
We're here for a reason. There's a purpose that we're here, and we're even doing this podcast in the first place. And the podcast is just one component of an entire community that we're a part of, that we're representing here in Castle Rock and beyond, of people that are just getting connected and becoming a part of the body of Christ, becoming the church,
So, good answer, by the way. Kind of sets the tone, sets the stage. Just for a minute, I don't want to go far on this unless you're wanting to. It's just kind of topically, because this happened pretty much within 2 months after we started the podcast. The world lost Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And we spent a handful of episodes on this from different angles. I mean, we talked about the memorial. We talked about the family. We talked about his legacy. We talked about the shooting itself, kind of broke some of the stuff down from his director of security in that episode when he was on Sean Ryan. Here we are, all pretty much a year, almost to the day from the time we started the podcast. So 2 months from now will be the year of Charlie's passing. We still have more questions than we have answers. Mm-hmm. Lots of stuff still going on in the world. How do you think that the passing of Charlie and Charlie's legacy impacted us in the podcast?
Man. Well, I'm going to answer this question, and then you're going to answer this question too, fair?
Sure.
because you asked 2 questions.
I did.
I answered the last one, and I know that we're pretty much on the same wavelength. I still would be interested to see what you're thinking the overall future looks like, and what you think. I still would like for you to give an answer to that. But to answer that question, the passing of Charlie Kirk has been probably in my lifetime one of the most impactful tragedies that I've witnessed. Whenever I was coming back from hunting. I was on my way back, and somebody had sent me the video, and I was in the car, and I had to kind of pull over and be like, what? And I just remember being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Whenever I saw the video, I was almost in complete disbelief. It's like, what? This is real? And then just watching it, I think I had the thoughts that majority of everybody had. I don't think that anybody can survive that. But having the faith that I had and I have, I think I reacted in a way that a lot of people reacted. I called my wife. We prayed together. We prayed for Charlie. I think that the whole world was praying for Charlie, man. The majority of people who prayed, they were praying for Charlie. And I kept thinking, man, this would be a miracle. Everybody knows, man, that's bad. That was a horrible, horrible wound. But those reports that kept coming out, oh, he's still alive. They're still working on him. There's still hope. Man, it was such an emotional roller coaster. And I was really believing in it. And I thought, man, this is going to be incredible. There's going to be a testimony that comes out of this, that everybody thought that this guy was going to die and he didn't. Well, that's not the way that it went. But regardless or not of that, at the end of the day, we don't blame God. Could God have done it? Sure, absolutely. God can do anything. I truly believe that. And I believe that's the faith that we're called to have. But I think it's important for people to remember that Jesus, when he was here on earth, he didn't heal everyone. There were people that he healed, but he would walk past all kinds of hurting, broken people. And there was stories of him healing people, but it wasn't everybody. It was according to his will. And it was according to people that if they were going to be healed, they were going to have this testimony, and they were going to have people that were going to be witnesses to this. And it was all according to God's plan and his purpose. And I still believe 100% that he still heals people today. I've seen it. I've experienced it myself. I think I've shared that testimony on the podcast. And I believe that God could have done it. His ways are higher than our ways. We still live in a fallen state. Humanity is corrupt, and the enemy's at work. So for that assassination to have happened, and for it to have been an event that was so well recorded and videos be posted left and right, his passing, even though now it is a shame that there has been so much information, whether some of it's true or whether some of it's misinformation. There's been so many twists and turns in the investigation that makes it to where it's almost diluted the impactfulness of this. I mean, there's people out there that are just saying, oh, he's not even dead, he's alive. That's all just totally fake. I mean, you don't really know what to believe, but whenever I was sitting there the day of and watching that video, I could feel it. And I felt it all, like I think a lot of people did.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for us to go back to that moment and remember, yeah, that was a tragedy. And regardless of how crazy the world is, and regardless of whether there's lies being told from the top down or not, we all felt, I believe, a lot of us felt the exact same thing in that moment. And we've had people turn to faith more than I think ever in history. And largely, I truly believe that was a catalyst that led people to faith, that led people to wanting to pick their Bibles up, wanting to really contemplate being here on earth and the time spent here versus the time that eternity represents. Right. And got people to kind of count that cost, make that calculation. And I was impacted greatly by that. The episode that we did right after his passing, them having the memorial in the gym. I mean, having the memorial in the gym, what I don't think a lot of people maybe know, some people do, but we've had a Bible study going on for almost 3 years. It's been over 3 years now. It's been like, I guess, almost 4 years. We started Victory Bible Study, and I've shared that God dealt with me and my wife about that. We were at a service and we knew God was telling us, don't wait any longer, because we were trying to kind of just kick the can down the road. We were going to do it when the coffee shop was open. There was all kinds of delays. And so finally we just started it in our house. And man, whenever we did it, it's like God was like, about time. And he just began to use it for good. People would come, be encouraged, be strengthened, come with prayer requests. Prayer after prayer would be answered, and it was a good thing. And we finally got into the building, got into the coffee shop, and we were having our Bible studies. And I could feel God tugging on me to say yes, 100%, and take it a little further. Really have faith, really trust him, and do what he was calling us to do. We accepted that call and that prompting to start the Bible study at a church planters conference service. So this was, we understood, and we knew God was calling us to start a church. Started by starting a church, a Bible study in your home. And that's what we did. And I was really wrestling with that next step. There was a lot going on at the time. There was a lot going on with the building, with the partnerships, with the contractor, with all kinds of stuff that was definitely, I know and I see it now in 2020, I was allowing it to affect me and weigh me down way more than I ever should have. But after a long time of wrestling and being miserable, thinking, okay, it's just going to be enough to just have the Bible study, just put some flags on the wall, Jesus in jiu-jitsu, put some other faith flags on the wall. We'll do everything but actually give a full yes. Thinking maybe that if I put one more flag up, or maybe if we have another Bible study or another worship night, that'll be enough. That'll scratch the itch, and maybe that feeling of that prompting, like I need to be doing more, would be appeased. Well, it never was. I stayed miserable because I was just running in circles trying to just do everything but say 100% yes to God, do what he was asking us to do. I'm saying all that and giving that context to explain this. The Sunday before Charlie Kirk was assassinated, my wife and I told the Bible study that we're going to have a pause with the cause. That's what we called it. Pause with the cause. We're not going to have Bible study for a little bit because we really feel God calling us to do something more than just a Bible study. And we're asking everybody in the Bible study to just pray with us about what that means, what God really wants. Because we don't want to just take a shot in the dark. We don't want to just do something and it not truly be what we're supposed to do. We're pretty sure we know, but we're just asking you to pray with us. And we posted it publicly on our platforms, just asking the community and anybody who cared enough to just pray with us. That post is still up, September 7th, I believe. And we just said, we're just feeling this call to devote everything that we have, businesses and everything, commit it, dedicate it more to God than we ever have. And we asked for prayer. And then days later, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Reason that matters and that I'm bringing that up for context is because we had just now been entering into this season of asking for prayer and praying ourselves that God would lead us. This happens, and there's so much hate, pure evil that was on the opposite side of responding to this death, this tragedy. There was so much hate, people completely opposed to and against Charlie and saying that he deserved it and all kinds of nasty comments. And my wife and I knew, and we felt the prompting of, yeah, we should probably take this opportunity to make sure that we are standing for what's right. Here's a young man who was martyred. It's the way that we saw it then. That's the way that I still see it today. Martyred because of what he believed in and what he stood for. And it was truth. There's some of the most impactful videos that you can go and you can watch of Charlie. It wasn't always this where a lot of people try to paint it out where he's just talking negatively or talking down to people. There's conversations that you can see him actually representing the love of Jesus Christ in real time with people that have real issues. One of the best examples of that is a video of him talking to somebody that's talking about a potential trans procedure. And Charlie takes the time to just say, hey, I would just encourage you that maybe you should focus on the inside before you worry too much about the outside. Maybe the outside doesn't matter as much as you think, and really this is something that you need to work on your inside, your mental health, and the way that he describes all that, and the way that he just shares his faith, the way that he is loving and kind. He doesn't always resort to, there was a couple heated arguments whenever people wanted to come and posture themselves. You kind of have to match people's energy sometimes, But regardless, he truly, I do believe, was a martyr. He was killed for what he believed. And so knowing that there were so many organizations out there taking a stand, that there was, we had heard that Starbucks wasn't willing to write down Charlie Kirk's name if people were ordering Charlie Kirk or whatever at the coffee shop, having the Charlie Kirk drink, and then streaming the memorial, having enough courage and enough faith to do that, regardless of threats that were already coming in because of our posts and our stances, just remembering Charlie and just honoring him. Honor where honor's due. It's not like we're idolizing the man. No. Do I look up to him? Do I admire him and his faith and his walk and his impact? Absolutely. But I know where all that source and the strength came from, and it was from Jesus. It wasn't just from a human's efforts. And the same kind of influence in my life comes from Jesus, not from Charlie. I just can appreciate and look at a man that I truly do believe was a witness to an encounter with Jesus Christ. And he walked in that, and he was able to have power to be an effective witness of that. And whenever we had the memorial, after we had asked everybody to be praying for us, asked the Bible study to be praying for us, we had that memorial. My wife and I got up and just said something very brief. And while we had people in the gym, there was almost standing room only. We had people in the back standing. When we're up there and we're talking, we're just sharing our faith. We're just opening up this space to let the community come together, be able to kind of just remember somebody together, mourn together. All I can tell you is it was complete confirmation and affirmation that we're supposed to do this. We're supposed to do this more. This is not just a one-time event. This is right. This is what God's calling us and prompting us to do. And it was that really served as a lot of confirmation that we were looking for, that we were praying for, that this is what God's asking us to do. Open up the gym, open up the businesses, and be more intentional than ever to share your faith, to be a witness to what you're a witness of.
Yeah.
And since then, it was just a month after that, or 2 months after that. It was October that we had our first church service, Victory Church, in here in the gym. And so that's a long, I feel like I've given two very long answers to two questions that maybe could have been answered a little bit more briefly. But I'm just giving the full context and backstory to what leading up to this and after this really has done. And I will probably for the rest of my life look back and remember that day whenever I watched the video of Charlie Kirk being assassinated, being martyred, and remember the servant's not greater than the master. That's what Jesus said. If they did this to Jesus, we have to be ready that they may do it to us. But does that mean that we stop spreading the truth? Does that mean that we stop being a witness to what we're a witness of? Of course not, because he's worth everything. And so to me, it just inspires me. And I think that the reaction that we've seen from so many people turning to faith is because I think a lot of people realize, wow, we're on a track right now that if we do believe in this, people are going to try to kill us. And I think there's been a huge motivating factor to try to turn the entire country in the right direction, in a better direction at least, to where hopefully we're able to spare people from being overly persecuted for a little while longer. But maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't happen. Regardless or not, I think there's a lot of people that are realizing that it's worth living a life that's worth dying for. And that only happens. That's only something that happens whenever you're fighting and living for a cause. And there's no cause more worthy than Jesus Christ. So.
Well, I asked, and you called it a long answer. I call it a testimony, because that's what this podcast is in many ways has been about from the beginning. We shared ours. Other people have come on. So it was, I thought your answer was exceptional. You painted a context, not just the loss, but what it did and how it's brought you guys together and the steps that you've taken, the conviction therein. There's just a lot of moving parts. And the reason I brought him up specifically is because there's a lot of unanswered questions in the world and it's still going on. And it's happened through the duration of our podcast. Like this thing not from onset, but pretty close to onset, this thing's been sitting out there, back burner, present issue. It hasn't gone away. I had a conversation yesterday about it with somebody when I say at length, I mean at length about it. And so for me, what it did, it just it reassured for a guy who's struggled with faith for varied reasons, testimony, history, a lot of different things. The one thing that Charlie's passing did is it made me mad. It made me want to go. I want to go solve this part of me. There's another piece that just the humility and the way he carried himself. It made me measure myself as a man. So those are for me, like I still would love to solve the crime. I really would, because the federal government's not doing it, or if they are doing it, nobody knows about it. No autopsy results, nothing out there. So I still have the cop in me that still wants to bring truth and justice in all of this. And it's not because anybody's asked me to go do something. I just feel like via this podcast, via some of our conversations, even via some of the connections that have come from it, of people that are directly, like Victor Marx is directly connected to him. So, when you have 2 degrees of separation, you start to feel more of a personal engagement in it. So there's just elements of it that to me are still unanswered that I would love to answer, plus the impact, plus what he was doing as a man. It's helped me when I walk into this set to stop and think sometimes, how would he handle a scenario? Because he would do it with love, but he would do it with truth. And that to me is what I'm always trying to seek, because I've just never been very good at it. I've never been very good at the love part. I've always been pretty good at finding the truth part, but it's finding that love at the same time. So that's how he's impacted me over the last 10 months, is keep seeking the truth, but do it in love.
Yeah. Well said. Much better, shorter, less long-winded answer.
But it wasn't long-winded. It was your testimony.
Just as impactful. Just if not more so. That's it. That's it. In a nutshell, summed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
It's truth
agree.
and love. And where I see things going, I think it's more of the same, obviously, but I also see some more outward excursions, stuff where we just open up the door a little bit, go out. Some of them might be banging down range. Some of it might be faith journeys up on a hillside on an ATV.
That sounds cool.
Where we start getting out and saying what does the next chapter look like? And it's not so much that I've thought it through. It was just because we're at the 100th episode to be able to go, what does the next 100 look like?
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
I am too, and I will paint a little bit of a picture of some exciting things that we're working on. We've obviously done the shootout episodes a couple times, shooting pod, gubernatorial shootout series. Expect more of that, and I think we'll also do more fun stuff too. Actually, maybe get a little bit more competitive with some of those episodes and efforts that we're doing. But the Daily Carry podcast is now officially bringing the commentary to JWI, which I think is cool. That's awesome.
Cool. Yep.
I think that just is like a no-brainer. And, through a process of a couple past events and finally finding this rhythm, the last one we did was the first one where the Daily Carry podcast was bringing the commentary. This next one will be the second one. And we've got a whole bunch of new equipment coming in that's going to make this actually a live broadcast production. And it's going to be definitely worthy of viewership. I think that's going to be huge. I think it's going to be good for the podcast. It's going to be good for the promotion. It's going to be good all the way around. But doing that, and then also being able to take the podcast, like you said, boots on the ground, be able to just have conversations with people, all kinds of different scenarios, communities, situations, that's going to be really cool. And a lot of the things that we're doing with Pit Boss Grappling and a lot of the things that we're working on incorporating and actually doing outside of the gym, I think that the Daily Carry podcast, following that, being the official commentator for that, I think that's gonna open up some really cool doors. I think it'll continue to open up some really cool doors because just the synergy there, it being two communities that are of the same community in the greater sense. I think there's a lot more synergy and exciting things to happen as a result of continuing to just let the two different organizations work together and see some overlap there that I think is going to.
There's some things I won't talk about on the camera yet that I think are also going to come from the endeavor that I'm involved in that came from this podcast. So there'll be more to come on that too. But I'm very excited to put somebody back in that chair in the next couple months on their faith journey and seeing how they've evolved.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will speak more into that at a later time, but I'm actually very excited about that right now.
Amen.
It's going to be good.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. That's what it's all about, man. That's why we're here. And I'm convinced that this podcast, as we've continued to just keep it what it is, that it's just here for a reason. It's here for a purpose, walking with that purpose and in that purpose and not deviating from it, not getting focused on chasing metrics or numbers, but just sitting down, having honest conversations and keeping it rooted in faith. I believe that's why the doors have opened that have opened.
Dude, we are a year in, almost to the day, 100 episodes. Do you know to this minute in time, I've still not read one single statement, review, call, whatever you call it, comment? Not
Lucky you.
Not one.
Lucky you.
I don't. Look, I've got like this overwhelming piece about it, and I'll tell you why. I think if I started digging into and trying to, because I do it on my own platforms. Like when somebody says something, like I will look into it, or if somebody's commenting, I can. It's very easy for me to get into even a back and forth if I don't like the subject line or I'm defending something. I have very intentionally not done that because I feel like the integrity to walk in here every single day, because people don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, when you've mentioned a couple of times in the podcast, we got new equipment coming, people are like, yeah, whatever. You don't understand how much goes into this, and you're doing it. So I'm sitting back because I don't know how to do it. I'm an idiot. But when my son comes in and helps the JWI, I mean, like I people that have that gift, have your ability, the ability I don't have. A lot of people don't realize what happens behind the scenes. So when you're excited about something like this, a lot of people are just like, yeah, okay. No, there's a lot that goes into it, like a lot that goes into it. Part of the reason I won't go into the comment section is because I'm not here to justify something. I'm here to be authentic. I'm here to find and seek the truth. I want to have fun. I mean, we'll have debates. We'll do different. I mean, you and I have had things where we've agreed and disagreed on stuff. We've had off-air conversations where we've looked at each other and had to go, wait, what? That's good. Like that's what is part of this. And if I got stuck in the comments, I would live in the comments. That's just the nature of the way I'm wired. I would start wanting to turn rocks over and figure things out. And I'm just like, no. And I can tell you, I breathe very easy because of that. And it's not because I don't care that somebody thinks something. What I don't want to do is get stuck on what they care about. When I'm like, we're doing this with integrity and purpose the right way.
Yeah.
I believe. And if we weren't, I think we wouldn't have 30 names up on the wall.
Definitely.
And you wouldn't have all of this stuff happen, and there wouldn't be 20 million views.
Yeah. Well, let me clarify and qualify something that we could absolutely just want to build this show out of pure entertainment value. And people can just bootstrap it and will that into existence and just seek out conversations with controversial people, noteworthy people, you name it, and just look for gotcha moments, look for those viral clickbaits. And through just not doing that, maybe we're a little bit slower in growth, but at the same time, I know that there's a lot of podcasts and people out there that start podcasts that have a hard time. And I didn't really know. We didn't know. We just said we're going to do it. It's not like we haven't been trying. We've been working hard at this thing.
Oh, sure.
And to your credit, you keep on putting a lot on me. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Don't do that, Ricky Bobby.
You bring to every episode and every conversation a context and an experience that I don't have that's very valuable to the show. For us to have such different lives, such different backstories, but still have faith that has been the glue that has, since the first time that we met all the way up until now, that is what really keeps us inspired, motivated, and keeps us to where we're Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. And I'm saying that to say, even if the tech stuff is not necessarily your thing, even if the comment sections is not necessarily your thing, it's a two-way street, brother.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron, and that goes both ways. The comment section, I will say, the moderating, for me, it has to happen a little bit on some of the videos that we post, just because there's a lot of comments that get on there that are pretty blasphemous. And those are the ones that I feel almost a little bit obligated to remove if it's within my power and they're on my radar. And but there's some videos, there's no way I can't go through hundreds or thousands of comments. There's one video, one of the videos that we have, that's a clip on Instagram of the Israeli prison for children.
Yeah.
That video has like 300,000 views. The comment section is just, it's getting added to like every day. It's crazy. I can't keep up with all of those. But regardless or not, I just say that to say I think that is awesome to stay out of the comments. And if you have to be in the comments to be able to somehow get yourself back to that mindset, it's important.
For the record, just just for clarification, I actually only have one platform that I respond to anybody on. Just so people know. So when I have I'm at Jofa_68 on X, YouTube, Instagram. Micah Richards is the only thing that I have is my Facebook page. That's the only place I respond is Facebook.
Oh.
So when people ping me, they're like, "Hey, you didn't respond to my Instagram thing." Oh, I don't respond to anybody's. And they're like, that's not what that's for. Like, you're supposed to go, like, no, I'm not doing that. And they're like, you're not going to be successful. I'm like, I don't care. I throw something out if I think it's valuable. And if people like something, they can say it or not say it. But what I never do is I never read the comment. I've never once read a comment on X on anything that I've put out there. Not once. I'm throwing something out there because I think there's a value in what I'm sharing. If somebody likes it, great. If they don't like it, fine. They can beat each other up over it in the comment section. I don't do it. The only place I do it is Facebook.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm taking the daily carry and going, oh, I'm not going to be involved. No, I just don't do it. Like, the only reason I even do Facebook is because actually I have a lot of friends on Facebook, and that's part of my medium of how we go back and forth and communicate.
Yeah.
And so I have some other people obviously on there. I think I have right at like 1,000 now. I can tell you 300 or 400 of those came in the last month. That because people are seeing the podcast, like they're like, oh,
yeah,
that's where that came from. And that's fine. I mean, but I don't seek that stuff out. If somebody comes on and they look they're going to be a wanker about something.
Yeah,
that's the only place I call it out.
Yeah. Well, I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm a little probably more involved in the comment section than I probably should be. It's definitely hard. It definitely does take a toll, but keeping everything grounded and rooted. And in conclusion and closing this episode out, I will say, piggybacking off of what you said a minute ago, the doors are opening because we're staying focused. We're staying on point. We're staying focused on the purpose, the mission. And we could go after this thing. We could have gone after this thing. And there's a lot of people that do go after their podcast, their angle to build a platform. And they do it from the perspective of just sheer entertainment value.
Yeah.
We want it to be worth people's time to watch the show and listen. And there has to be at least a little bit of an entertainment factor. Sure, of course. But staying rooted on this entire thing exists for a reason. I want to make sure that we at least approach every episode with that in the back of our mind, if not the front of our mind. There's a reason we're here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that we're having an interview, whether it's here on set or whether it's at somebody else's set or whether it's on a range somewhere and we're shooting guns. It's for a reason. And staying rooted in that, I truly do believe is going to continue to open the right doors for the show. We're going to continue to have the right episodes. We're going to continue to have the right guests, the right people who reach out that want to be on the show. And I think that the sky's the limit. So it's really and the way that we're walking in this and giving it our all, we're really doing it. We're not taking any shortcuts or cutting any corners. And we still have a lot to be learned. We have not arrived at the top of podcasting by a long shot.
I would echo
We're
that.
learning a lot of lessons, and we're learning how to do things more effectively and efficiently. And as we're growing and we're continuing to stay on mission, on point, on purpose, I truly do believe that God's going to be the one who opens the right doors.
Yeah.
That we're going to follow, and he's going to lead us in the right direction. And so with that, I will say this in closing. I think this will be good. In closing for both of us, 100 episodes and almost 20 million views later, what are some of the key things that you think that we have learned in navigating this past year?
Well, I'll just say the only thing that popped into my head was your friendship. We've been able to. It started with a t-shirt. It grew into this, and along the way, we've had 2 or 3 times where we've had to stop, check each other, check ourselves. Something hurt us or bothered us that the other one did, or we had a feeling about something, and we were able to not only walk through it, but come out stronger on the other side. All of the other stuff that would have been construed as the positive or the good has just continued on, and it's just continued to grow. I think the measure of any man and the measure of any relationship is when you hit those stumbling blocks or you hit those moments where you're just like, what is going on? Or something's completely misunderstood, whatever the whatever is, where it could cause division or chaos or separation. we were able to wade into the waters, figure it out, come out the other side and go, okay, and be better men for it.
Yeah.
That's what it's done for me.
I would echo that in saying that I think that the world needs a lot more of that, because there's, with the cancel culture, with everything that's kind of just being influenced in a negative direction online and being encouraged, oh, you got a problem with somebody, cut them out, cut it off, move on to the next. Whenever we actually have a brotherhood, we have this iron sharpens iron. Well, I don't know if anybody out there, if you're listening, if you understand this concept of iron sharpening iron, it's not something that's just easy.
Yeah.
You're
banging metal
It
together.
takes work.
Yep.
And it takes friction, and it takes intention. If you're sharpening something, it's a process that requires a lot, and it's worth it. And so whenever you have anything that may come up, fork in the road, differences, questions, concerns, feelings, emotions, whatever, at the end of the day, being able to stay rooted in who we're called to be, and that it includes to each other, and then also outward.
Yep.
First and foremost, obviously, who we're called to be to our Creator. He loved us first, so we love him. That's the greatest command. But like it is to love our neighbors. Whenever we can operate from that, that is the greatest lesson, I think, that is to be learned. 100 episodes later, 20 million views later, it's got to come from that conviction.
Yeah.
Everything that we're doing. And I'll take it beyond just our friendship, which means the world to me. The fact that you and I met over a T-shirt, and here we are, 100 episodes, almost 20 million views later, and that's just the Daily Carry. That doesn't even include everything else.
Oh, that's true.
Which
that's a
there's
good point.
a pretty solid argument to be made that there's other things that we're involved in that are more important than the podcast.
Yeah.
I think it's all important and equally important in the grand scheme of things, eternally, and the influence, the impact. But I would say that we would both agree that there's other things that we're involved in that it feels like in the day, in the moment, it's like, wow, this is probably way more important than having a conversation on a podcast whenever we're sitting with a group of guys reading the word together.
Right.
Things like that. So there's other things that I'm very grateful for, but specifically in the podcast, in the past 100 episodes and almost 20 million views, if I was going to sum it all up and say, this is what there is to be learned in this experience, I would definitely say there are always going to come moments where you have to make the decision. Are you going to drift away from purpose? Are you going to sell out a little bit? Are you going to just kind of do what other people would do to maybe take a shortcut to more views, to more success, to more opportunity? Or are you going to stay convicted?
Sure.
Are you going to stay rooted in your purpose and your identity? And we've had those conversations where I've told you, and we've both dialogued back and forth with, man, I feel like that episode we didn't really incorporate faith enough. I feel like that maybe we're getting a little bit too political and not as spiritual, not as faith-based as we should be. And being able to bring it back and have that check and have somebody on the same wavelength that's on the show to be able to make sure that we're checking that and we're being intentional about that. Because here's the thing, we've had a lot of heavy-hitting guests on, a lot of people with notoriety, a lot of people with views. We could definitely put out episodes that could just be nothing but view farms that don't really affect anything positively, but they're just pure entertainment value. But at the end of the day, that's not what the show is supposed to be.
Now, what we're doing is way harder.
Way harder.
Way harder.
And we're doing it because it's coming out of a place of conviction.
Yeah.
That we want this show to mean something. That's it.
You know what's funny? I'm just gonna end me with this. So you just said 100 episodes, 20 million views. I could throw out a comment right now, and we'd have 100 million views in a week if I wanted to be divisive, skeptical, put controversy out there, connect the dots on something that the whole world would talk about. Oh yeah. I would feel like slime for the rest of my life to do that. And I could do it tomorrow. And I would actually have probable cause, if you will, to move that forth because of things that I know. And at the end of the day, nope. if we're going to ever dive into something that is deep, that is going to impact people, I want it to be grounded in truth and in fact and in love. And whatever comes out the other side of that thing, know that we didn't cause it, whatever the world caused or whatever the event is, we fill in the blank with however we got there, whatever that circumstance is. I want to make sure that we handle it well, because it's easy to do gotcha moments. We've had 30 people on here. We could have done gotcha moments with every one of them. I could have sat down, done my research, done the Kyle Clark, and gone, here, let's go at the jugular at this person. For what? What do you gain out of that? And that to me is, I think it's genuine. I think it's kind of childish behavior. And I don't think it ever really does any good. And what we're doing this isn't a pat on the back. I just think there's an authenticity to it, that it's way harder to be integrity-based, to stay in the lane, to find truth in love, and be able to move that down. And I think that's why we've had so many people on the show that actually genuinely do not like each other, and yet we get along perfectly well with all of them.
Yeah.
In fact, we can even bring them together, and I know this firsthand because I've stood there when it's happened and been able to negotiate that conversation, and they walked away knowing that wasn't bad at all. And it was because we had them on the podcast. And so I think that there's a testimony even within that. And I want to continue doing that. I want to make sure that we don't deviate away. And it doesn't mean we shouldn't seek the truth if something is worth seeking. I mean, if there is something legitimate out there, good or bad, that is a game changer in life for the world, or for, a notable size of the community, then yeah, we can talk about it. But as long as we're doing it with truth and love. Like that to me is, if we don't do that, then I don't want to do the podcast. I just wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
I can go do that on my own. So that's part of what I've gotten out of this thing, is it's measured me as a man. It helps me measure other people, and then how to walk alongside them. And doesn't mean you're not going to have controversial moments. It doesn't mean you're not going to have some pushback. Human nature is always going to kick in, but how we carry ourselves, that's what I want to, from episode now 100 into 101 and beyond, that's what I want to see continue.
Amen. Well said. Man, perfect way to close this out. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Why don't we both close this episode out? Why don't you dial and I'll hang up? How's that sound?
That's
Good?
perfect. Yep. Father God, thank you. We're at the century mark. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable. It's been crazy. It's been wild. It's been a lot of different things. But I believe it's always been first and foremost about you, and it's been grounded in that integrity that we both want to stand on. And we're just men. We're walking a journey, and we're going to trip and have speed bumps and pitfalls. And how we edify each other and lift each other up matters. How we do this with other folks, how we do it with our families, how we represent to the world for our brides. All of it is, I believe, we are striving to do that in your glory. And so I would just ask, continue prayers over Jared and his family. And as always, watch over my baby girl out in the Straits of Hormuz, and everybody who's protecting our country. It's in your son's name I pray.
Lord, thank you for allowing us to get here. 100 episodes of the Daily Carry podcast. I pray, God, that you would just let every episode that we've recorded so far, and every episode that we will record in the future, be meaningful and purposeful according to your will. And I pray that you just use this show, this platform, everything that it's been and everything that it will be, use it together for good. Use it for your good, for eternal consequence. We ask that in your name. We ask you to cover every conversation that we've had. Any time that any of our humanity may have gotten it wrong, I pray that you would just cover us, that you'd forgive us, and that you'd help us, Lord, that as we're moving forward, as we're learning these lessons, and being a young podcast still, even 100 episodes in, I just pray that you would continue to cover us with your grace, your mercy, and that you would also just lead us forward in wisdom and in truth. And I pray that you'd help us to represent you well. Pray that you'd help this show to be meaningful eternally, that people could listen to this show and be pointed to truth, be pointed to you. I thank you, Lord, for every testimony that's already came in of that happening. Thank you for using the show and using the willingness from me and Micah to just say yes and want to walk in integrity, want to walk in purpose and conviction. I pray that you'd help us, give us the strength we need to continue to do that and to do it even better than we've done it so far. I pray that you'd help us to have the strength that we need to carry what we carry, to carry it well, to deny ourselves, pick up our cross, and follow you. That's what it's all about. I pray that you'd help us to follow you, and as we follow you, help us to continue to lead others to you as we're on that journey toward you. I pray in your name for our families. I pray that you'd continue to bless all that we do, not for our own glory or vanity, but for you, that you would be glorified, that you would be exalted and lifted up. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. All that matters is you, Jesus. And I pray that you'd continue to lead hearts and minds to you. In the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. All right.
Episode 100.
100 in the books.
In the books. If you've enjoyed this episode and if you enjoy the Daily Carry podcast, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this episode and other episodes with your friends and family. We genuinely appreciate it. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate everyone who's tuned in to us so far. And if you're tuning in for the first time, stay tuned. More exciting episodes to come. We'll see you next time.
Till next time.